Good evening, my family. Okay, so I had made a post about that focaccia. To look at it, you would think that that is sourdough bread, but it is not. And I was asked by one of the subscribers, who is also in my Facebook group, if I would show a video on how in the world did I manage to get this focaccia bread. And my answer was yes, I would love to teach y'all how to do this. Now, a few things we're going to go over before we actually make this, because honestly there's not a whole lot of hands-on this bread. It's more time consuming than anything else, because you're going to be allowed to go do whatever you're going to do for the rest of your day, occasionally come back and I'm going to show you how to do all of this. But you will have the most fluffiest, pillowest, and I'm going to show you. Now this came out of my freezer. I had half of this in my freezer so I can actually have it for later, but I brought it out because we're going to have it with supper tonight. And I want to show you this gorgeous, look at this, y'all. Now this is half of my focaccia, because the other half we had for pizza that night. Do you see this? This is straight out of the freezer, and it's been defrosted. Now watch, y'all. Just like, and it's still got some of that crunch to it. I can hear it. Yep. Hear it? This is the best focaccia I have ever had, and it's my go-to focaccia. And I'm going to teach you or show you how to make it yourself. We're going to first start out with flour. Now you need a high protein flour. Sorry y'all, that was a piece that I dropped. I'm going to use it. So you're going to need a high protein flour. Let me get with you just a second. Okay, so no, this is not fresh milled right off the bat. I'm going to tell you this one is not. However, I am working on one for fresh milled, and I'm going to work on one for sourdough fresh milled. But for right now, this is not. This is going to be more convenient for those of you who do not have a mill. I'm starting out with you first, because I want everybody to have the opportunity to have an amazing focaccia bread, but with limited resources. So I will say what I am using, you can order these on Amazon. Now this one is the Caputo 000. It is called the chef's flour. You need a high protein flour, at least 12%. This one is 13%. So, and it's 2.2 pounds, and I think it's $9.98 on Amazon. But the reason I got this, y'all, this isn't from here. This is from Italy. You can use the 000, or you can use a slightly even higher flour, which is Manitoba 1 or 0. Oro is 0. So, or not Oro, but yeah, 1. So you could use type 1, or you can use the 000. Both of these flours will work. Okay, so can you use, now this one was also by Caputo. So, and it's a farina. Farina is flour in Italy. So this, yeah, the professional flours, the blue bag type 1 or 000, the chef's flour, both of these are from Italy. But Miss Carrie, we don't have flour like that. And you're right, we don't. And if you don't, the next best flour that you can use right here that you can purchase is bread flour. Now, a couple things about your bread flour. I would get the unbleached. And I'm going to be honest with you, it is the least processed out of the processed flours. So if you do not have these type of flours, use the bread flour. Nothing less than that. All-purpose will not work, y'all. You need a bread flour, and preferably unbleached. But if that's all you can get is bleach, get what you can get. But you can use bread flour for this recipe. Now, this is what makes it versatile for everybody to be able to have it, for those who don't have special flours, milling, or Italian flour. I gave you the opportunity to be able to make this. The consistency, however, in this recipe might change just a bit. So please know that. When I may get a super wiggly in the end process, you might have maybe not so jiggly. And again, you might have even better. We don't know. All you can do is try it. It's just an opportunity. We're going to go straight to the recipe now. This is very simple. You do not need even a whole lot of ingredients. I have weighed all of my ingredients. Now I'm going to tell you, I will give you the cups, but versus cups to weighing, you're going to come out more efficient with weighing and a scale than by cups. But if you do not have a scale, again, I give you the opportunity to make this by giving you teaspoons and cups on how to do this. Now, we're going to go to the recipe. Okay, y'all, so you need very simple ingredients. You need salt, yeast, flour, water, and some olive oil. This is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients. This is all we need. Nothing fancy. And like I said, we went through the flours. And by the way, y'all, hold up. Just so you know, I know a lot of you saw that warm weather we had. We get tricked, and this is what's bad for us down here. We get tricked really bad. It will be cold, like we just had that really freezing cold. Everything right now is dormant, but now we've had temps up in the 70s. Do you know what just happened? Everything just woke up. We've got a ton of rain coming in, but guess what we have behind this? That's right. We have some more cold coming in behind this. Past 2 years, we thought we were going to have an early spring by this, and what ended up happening is everything started flowering. All of our fruit trees started flowering. Everything started waking up. And when that bitter cold hit last year, we dropped down to 7 degrees. All of our flowers, from our pecans to our apples to our peaches, all fell off. Killed everything that we were going to get that year. So we don't particularly like being in this position where everything looks so. Please do not envy, y'all, because we have our own issues. For past 2 years, because of this type of reaction that Mother Nature is doing with us, we've had no fruit productions nor nut from our pecans productions. There is a business here in our town who relies on these pecans, and she has been out of business for 2 years because of this up and down tricking us into what believes to be an early spring winds up being a laugh in our face, I gotcha. And it absolutely has. So we're afraid this is going to happen again. We are right now in cool temps, and we will be dropping down to freezing temps again. So what am I doing with you? I'm surviving winter with y'all. And so these videos are going to keep us occupied. So while we wait and before we know it, winter's going to be gone. We can say adios and we can get back to what we love the most come spring. So this is why I'm going to be working in the kitchen with you. We're going to do some amazing good food and try to have fun. And each day that goes by, y'all, before we know it, spring will be here. So let's work on this together. I won't, and I feel sorry for a lot of you who are getting dumped right now with a lot of snow. We are getting dumped with a lot of rain. So we all have our issues. And I love each and every one of you, and we're all going to make it through this. So let's get back to our bread. Okay, y'all, so I am going to start with the liquid stuff first, and we're going to put our water in here. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, I will tell you, Foccosia loves olive oil, so get a good olive oil that y'all like, but know that you're going to use quite a bit of this because this bread absolutely adores olive oil. It will soak it in, and it's even better when you take and, like I'm going to do with the supper tonight, we're going to have wings and a Mediterranean butter beans, and I am going to toast some of our focaccia for dipping in olive oil. Yum. Okay, so now I'm going to take my salt as well. I don't want to mix it all up in my flour. I could if I wanted to, but I don't really feel like that. So I'm actually going to just add this in here like this. I took down my notes, y'all. And then we're going to mix all of this together. We want to get it dissolved and start moving. And you need a good sized bowl, because this bowl is what you're going to be working with right here through this whole process. Because this is going to be, this video, I'll just tell you, this is going to be a 2-day process, y'all. So I'm going to work with this with you so that you can have this as well. So 2-day process means we're going to prepare this, because this is going to sit in the refrigerator overnight. All right, so we got this ready. Now let me go ahead and clear all this up and we'll be right back. All right, y'all, so here's what we have in this bowl. We have 470 grams of warm water, or 2 cups. Yes, the recipe will be in the description, you know me. You have 2 teaspoons of salt, and I use Himalayan pink sea salt. You have 1, whoops, I added 2, y'all. Okay, that was 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Huh, okay, this ought to be interesting. And 2 teaspoons, or 7 grams, which I use the grams, of yeast. So you want to add all this in here. Then mix it up, and we've got 560 grams of your bread flour, or 4 cups. I'm just going to add all of this in here. Lord, I hope this turns out. I hope you love this olive oil a whole lot, bread. Now we're just going to mix this all together. Notice I'm not using my hands right now, because this is going to be a very sticky dough. You do not want to actually touch this right now with your hands. We're going to let this actually sit. And we're going to allow all these liquids to absorb into this flour. So, because otherwise it's just going to stick to your hands really well, y'all. Okay. Now, let me get another spatula so I can clean off the sides of my bowl, because I'm actually just wanting to mix this up really well until there's no dry spots. Can you see why I say don't? I mean, here, it's sticky, y'all. All right, let me get another thing to clean this up, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay. Just going to go ahead and scrape this off of my spatula. We're going to go around the edges of this bowl. I'm going to try and form this into a ball as much as I can with just my spatula. Clean up my bowl edges. And you don't have to be perfect about it. I kind of OCD a lot of things. It's just who I am. It's what I do. And then just kind of bring it all in together. Just like so. Now we're going to let this sit. This is going to sit for 30 minutes, y'all. I am going to use my inexpensive bag of shower curtain or shower caps. Yes, these make great bread bowl covers, y'all. I think I paid less than $1.50 for this bag of shower caps. And this is what I got. And watch this bowl. That's a good sized bowl, and this covers it. I mean, it absolutely did it. So now we're going to set this here. I'm going to put my towel on top. And for 30 minutes, we're going to just let this sit and absorb. After 30 minutes, we're going to do our first stretch and fold out of 3. And I'm going to show you how to do all this. Okay, y'all, so now we're going to, it has been 30 minutes and we're going to do our first stretch and fold. What we are actually doing is helping form the gluten within our bread. So you're going to need your hands wet. So take your fingers into a nice bowl of water. We're just going to take and pull up and fold over, just as you see here. Again, you're going to have to keep doing this for now. Eventually, it gets a lot easier and it's not as sticky, but it'll always be sticky, let's face it. we want to do this 4 times. Then we're going to take it, fold it over, take this edge here, and fold it over. I want to take all my stuff right here. Nah, it's sticky, y'all. Very, very sticky. But as you see, though, you can get your hands wet and you can work with your dough. And just do this one more time. Take this in this last corner. Stretch it up a little bit. You don't want to stretch it till you tear it. Your dough will kind of, it'll pull some resistance after a while, but just take it and just fold it over gently like this. Just kind of treat it with a little bit of a babiness, but you want to be able to stretch it some. Okay, so now we have this one. Hands are all sticky. We're going to take our cover this back up, and we're going to let this sit again for another 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, we're going to come right back and we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to do another set of stretch and folds. Alright, y'all, we are on our second set of stretch and folds, and you're going to start seeing the difference in this. Let me push you back here just a little bit where you can see the structure. Again, just get your hands wet. Do this 4 times in each corner. Come around through here, lift up under. You don't have to be super aggressive. Just stretch it on up there though, and then fold it on over. And see, it's getting easier where it's not sticking to our hands so much anymore. There's one. Come on up. Stretch it over, and this, y'all, is where those bubbles that you saw in my focaccia, that's where this comes from. So bring it around again, stretch it up. As you see, it's starting to get a little bit hard on that tension. That's because we are reaching its maximum ability of stretching. And then we have our final stretch up over and fold. We are working on our gluten. Again, just like the last one, we're going to take, let me get my hands done. Hold on, y'all. Okay, sorry about that. Now we're going to take our cover it back up. I'm going to go ahead and set my timer again for our final 30 minutes. And I'll show you this too right quick. See that jiggle? It's getting there, y'all. And I'm starting to see bubbles starting to form up. This is what we want to see. So we're going to cover this up, and we will see you again in 30 minutes. Okay, y'all, so we are working. You see this? See that jiggle? That means this thing is nice and airy. We are working on our third and final stretch and fold, and then this, honestly, we're going to take and put it in the refrigerator, and we will continue this tomorrow. You want to be gentle at this point because there's a lot of air in here. So we're going to just take our fingers again, just wet them, stretch and fold. I can see the bubbles coming up already in here. Bring it through here, bring it over, stretch and fold again, and then one more time. Then we're going to put this, seal it off like we did before. Ooh, that bad boy don't want to. Okay, hang on a second, y'all, because I want to take this, I guess, now, stretch and fold it just like this. I'm trying to be gentle because we got, see that air bubble right there? Okay. Alright, now we're going to seal this off, and we are going to put this in the fridge at least 12 hours or slightly longer. Now, if you wanted to use this same day, you're going to wait another 30 minutes. And let me get this in the refrigerator, and I'm going to tell you why this is the best method. I'd rather do this than rush this focaccia. I did it, and I'm going to explain the differences and why I'm doing it this way. So now I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and we will be back tomorrow to finish this, but I'm going to explain why. Okay, y'all, so just my opinion at this point, the long fermentation overnight in the refrigerator to me gave it more of an in-depth flavor, and I thought to me also made it a little bit more airy. Now, if you want to go ahead and proceed this through the rest of the process, you're going to watch the end of this video. Well, I'll just try to explain it to you right now, because my method right now, I'm teaching you to do this tomorrow. Otherwise, do another 30 minutes, your final 30 minutes of stretch and folds. Use a 9 by 13 inch pan. You're going to drizzle the pan with a good amount of olive oil. You're going to do your final stretch and folds. Put this mix into your pan. Cover your pan and let it rest for 1 hour. At this point, almost to the end of your 1 hour, or until it doubles in size, you are going to turn your oven on to 400 degrees, and you're going to preheat your oven. At the end of your 1 hour, or till it doubles in size, you are going to make your dimples inside of it, and then shake it just a little bit to stretch it to your pan. You do not want to try to avoid going all the way to the bottom of your bread, but you want to make dimples all over it. At this point, you can turn around and use, which I am going to use, I'm going to put olives on mine this time, and probably some rosemary, I'm not sure. But you're going to use your seasonings. Coat them in oil or olive oils. This way, they are not going to burn. And before you do your dimples, you want to add olive oil on top of this as well. Yes, this bread uses a lot of olive oil. Once you get your dimples, it's covered with olive oil. If you want to do your seasonings, whatever, you can do so, or put on your toppings of whatever you like. Then you're going to bake this for about 20 to 22 minutes until you get a nice crunchy bread, and it'd be about 190 to 200 degrees. And you're going to immediately take it out of your pan, put it on a rack, and let this cool for at least 10 minutes. And that's it, y'all. That would be the end of your focaccia. Unless you want to be patient like me, get that fermented flavor, almost like a sourdough effect and flavoring, but it's not using sourdough. So we, at this point, are going to finish tomorrow, and I will show you how to finish this focaccia bread. So see you tomorrow. Good morning, y'all. It's definitely morning, so I have my coffee out here. You can see it steaming, and yep, look what caught up to us. So it's cold. We just took our focaccia bread, our dough, out of the refrigerator. We're going to let this sit until it warms up a little bit. I've got my oven on 400 preheating, and I'm going to show you what it looks like coming out of the refrigerator. All right, y'all. I don't know if you can see this, but these have got bubbles everywhere on here, and it is super jiggly. So this is exactly what we're looking for. Now we're just going to let this sit and warm up a bit, and then we're going to go ahead and get it ready for our pan to go in the oven. Okay, y'all, so it's been about 45 minutes to an hour since this came out of the fridge. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put this in my pan. You need a 9 by 13 inch, kind of deep pan for this, because it's going to rise. I'll go ahead and set this over here for just a minute as we prepare our pan. I'm going to drizzle this with olive oil. This one here, y'all, is California Ranch. I had bought at the time, before olive oil went maddening, I went and got me a stock of olive oil, but it is now running out, and I am needing it desperately. So I need to go get some more as soon as I'm able to. All right, while we have this, and yes, this is a lot of olive oil, but like I told you, this bread absolutely loves it. It thrives on it. It's where it gets that crunch from. All right. Now, we've got that ready. Put this over here. We're going to take our bread and very gently, we're going to stretch and fold it. We don't want to deflate it completely with all our beautiful bubbles. We're just going to if you've seen all that, I hate doing that with all these beautiful bubbles, but we're just going to take that and go ahead and put this here. Pull this out. And put that on our pan, y'all. Now, we're honestly going to let this just sit here, cover it up, and it's just going to sit here for an hour. We want it to be able to spread on its own and do its thing, because then we're going to have to dimple it and all that. So at this point, I'm just going to take it, put my cover on it, and I'm going to let this sit for an hour. Until then, we will be back to finish this up. Alright, y'all, so we are now ready to take our focaccia dough, and I'm going to, well, get my hands oily here, because this bad boy decided to just want to stay where it's at. So we're going to take some of this oil that I have, and actually you can drizzle some over this too, and I'll probably just do that. So give me a second and we'll go ahead and do that, because I'm going to show you how this works. Alright, y'all, we're going to take our oil and we're just going to drizzle over the top. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and get my fingers and all. We're just going to lightly push our focaccia mix out to the pan. Kind of wiggle it a little bit. And just like so. It's kind of cool here, so things are not working very fast today. It took a little over an hour to do this, so. Alright, y'all. Now we're going to pop this in the oven. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put some toppings on this, so let me show you what we're going to do here. Alright, y'all, so my last one I didn't put any flavoring on it, so this one I am. I'm just going to lay. Now, all of these toppings have been drizzled with olive oil to keep them from burning on here. We're just going to go ahead and put some vegetables. Put some green olives in here. Just kind of lightly put them inside the bread. The olives in this focaccia taste so amazing. Just to let y'all know, I've done that before, and my goodness, it was so good. Kind of looks like a Christmas tree at the moment. One day I'm going to learn how to do focaccia art. Oh, that lay down there just right. Let's go ahead and pop some of these pretty purple onions on here. That caramelized onion flavor in this bread as well. So good. And these are thin slices, y'all. They're not really thick. We don't really want them super thick on our bread. This is going to be so good. Oh, well, guess don't have to be perfect, right? Put another one down here. Alrighty. Go on with some more of the rest of these toppings here. Oh, this is going to be some good focaccia. And then after this, y'all, we're going to pop this in the oven for about 22 minutes. And when it's done, we'll come back. I'm going to go ahead and get this in the oven. And we'll be back, y'all. Alright, y'all. Timer just went off. Let's see what our bread looks like. You ready for this? Alright. Oh my goodness, y'all, look at this. Oh, look at that. How amazing that looks. Now, we actually want to take this out of the pan because we want to keep this crispy crust. So we're going to pull this baby out. And I have this on a wire rack. We'll slide it right out of there. All of our vegetables roasted on here. Ooh. Oh, y'all. So we're going to let this cool off for about 10 minutes. We're not going to cut this. We're not going to do anything. Oh, I can already... Yes, it's got that nice crunch. Yeah. Y'all, 10 minutes and we'll be back. Now, I am going to take my rosemary off of here right now. Oh, but we will probably sprinkle this on here. This is going to make the best sandwiches you could ever think of. It looks so amazing. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes after this cools off or cools down some, and then we're going to cut it and show you the crumb. I hate to cut this one, but I'll show you the crumb and let you hear that nice focaccia crunch and see the bottom of it. Okay, y'all, you ready for this? I'm going to take our focaccia off here. Get us a nice serrated knife. Before I cut into this, y'all, I'm going to let you see the bottom of our focaccia bread. Listen to this. Y'all, this is amazing. Now we're going to cut our beautiful focaccia. And look at that crumb, y'all. Look at the softness. Oh, baby, this is good. You can make really good sandwiches out of this. You can cut it and toast it, and you can turn this into pizza if you wanted to. It's endless ideas what you can do with this bread. So many ways. Now, I would have ordinarily also sprinkled this with some kosher salt on top while I baked it. But I'm cutting back on my salt a little bit. Besides, when I use my dipping in olive oil, because this is amazing dipped in olive oil, I have salt in it. So let me get you back up here. We'll speak for a minute, and this is the recipe, y'all. Okay, so as you've seen throughout this entire process, there's really not a lot of hands-on on this type of bread. There is, however, a lot of time waiting, but it is so worth it as you see this in the end. Now, it depends on your weather and all of this. Now, my last focaccia dough, same recipe, came out a lot fluffier than this one did. However, big difference. Back then, not long ago, it was almost 70 degrees versus today, which is in the 50s. So that has a lot to play in it, even when it is refrigerated overnight. So, and then it took a little longer to warm up before I put it in my pan. Still, however, this came out perfectly amazing. So focaccia is not hard to do. Remember to take the tips that I told you on your flour from the beginning. Take your notes. I will give you the recipe for this, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you make your ultimate focaccia breads from here on through, because this is the best bread out of all the breads that I have made that I absolutely enjoy the most. So until next time, y'all, much love from Parton's Mediterranean Homestead.